I'm Mr. MegaManFan, and today we're here to talk about Battle Kid Fortress of Peril. This was a rather unique thing at the time it came out because NES Homebrew had not become a huge scene like it is now. In fact, I'd say in the last decade, homebrews for every kind of console have really taken off in a significant way. If you have a console from the 80s or 90s and you want to buy new games for it, chances are you can do that now. Everything from NES to Genesis to Nintendo 64 to even Sega Dreamcast homebrew games. But back in 2010, when Battle Kid Fortress of Peril was first released, there weren't that many homebrew NES games. Maybe a few, not many. And this one gained notoriety right away. Not just for the production quality. It's well animated. It's got good music. The controls, well, they are precise enough for the gameplay, but the gameplay itself is excruciating, and that's the reason for the notoriety. This has been called the I Wanna Be the Guy of the Nintendo library. If you've never heard of I Wanna Be the Guy, it was a free PC game that you could play, I think through Macromedia Flash, or maybe it was an executable PC game, but I Want to Be the Guy was basically the Kaizo of PC platforming games. By Kaizo, if you don't know the term, I mean Mario hacks that punish you by being super difficult, where you have to do a spin jump off a turtle shell into a wall and kick jump off the wall into another spring, and then use the spring to get across a series of spikes and pits, and then do another kick jump. It's like you have to do crazy, just insane combo. I said crazy. I was talking insane and crazy at the same time, and I made up a new word. Crazy. Battle Kid Fortress of Peril is crazy. This is the NES equivalent of I Want to Be the Guy in every way, because without playing this on an emulator using save states, you aren't going to get very far. It has a password system, we'll give it that, but getting far enough to generate a new password to have a good point to restart from, oh, good luck. If you need further illumination on this topic besides watching my video here, which I can only stand this for about 10 minutes before it drives me nuts and I want to rage quit, go watch the Game Grumps episodes where Aaron has a complete meltdown when he reaches one of the bosses and he starts screaming, "Purple plant, red plant, blue plant," and then he uses a series of expletives that I'm not even going to repeat. But I didn't even get that far, so credit to Aaron Hansen for being the gamer that he is. But I reached my breaking point where I would just start screaming expletives long before that, and it's one of those things that is designed to be memorized and only beaten if you memorize every single thing. Everything you do is a trap. The traps range from somewhat obvious to I know they're coming, but how do I avoid it, to oh my god, I can't even believe that was there. Like the first trap, you're going to figure out right away, even if you've never seen gameplay footage before. Once you clear out this first screen of enemies and move to the second, you see these lemons in the tree and you're like, okay, that's going to fall on me. And then you try to avoid it and you can't. And then you think, well, maybe I can trigger the lemons if I get close enough to them and then duck back out of the way in time. And that's not going to work with the first one. It can be done with the second one, but you're going to have to tease it out. And each time you die, you're going to have to go all the way back through this entire section because you haven't reached a restart, continue, save point, whatever you want to call it. So you're going to shoot these enemies over and over again. You're going to come back. You're going to be like, okay, what do I do? Can I trigger it? Can I activate it? Nope. You just got to run past it fast, and then you got to trigger the other one and then run away from it. So even if the object is the same. The way you deal with it each time you encounter it is different. The game does not forgive you by having everything be the same each time you do it. You finally clear that section and you see the spike pit and you're immediately suspicious. Like, am I going to hit a hidden block? Am I going to get knocked down into the spikes? But no, you don't. But that's what this game does to you. You can't trust anything from one screen to the next. Every time you make a little bit of progress, you immediately start thinking, what's going to trip me up the next time? What am I going to see in the next screen that it looked safe before and it's not safe now? I think a modern day comparison to this would be The End Is Nigh. I think Emma McMillan made a very similar to an I Want to Be the Guy style game with The End Is Nigh, because each screen has a different solution and you're not scrolling from one screen to the next. You're just solving the puzzle on that screen, then moving to the next screen. I guess there is a little bit of scrolling there. I shouldn't say that. There's not no scrolling in The End Is Nigh, but it's still like one puzzle at a time, which Battle Kid Fortress of Peril is very much that. I haven't talked too much about the developer yet. Civac Games, I should give props where they're due. Civac, when he made this game, was very specific that he wanted to make it a physical NES cartridge. He didn't just want to release a demo on the scene. He wanted something that people could actually put in their vintage Nintendos and play. So major props to him for that. And the cover art for the game, when it was released physically through retrousb.com, which I believe at the time was known as RetroZone, but it's now Retro USB, was designed by YouTube's own Guru Larry. That's right, Larry Bunny Jr. Hello, you. I'm Guru Larry, and welcome to Battle Kid Fortress of Peril. Yeah, he designed the artwork, and he probably had no idea how infamous the game would become after he designed it. But if you buy a physical copy, it's going to come with his artwork. So mad props to Guru Larry for that. And again, to Civac Games for making such a difficult game. Oh dear Lord. I wish I was playing this with save states right now, because it gets so tedious to do these sections over and over and over again, and to not start swearing up a storm in the voiceover commentary, let alone while I was recording it. And yeah, it's hard to put into words the rage that flows through your fingers as you're holding the controller going, why do I have to do this again? Why didn't I just use a save state? Why didn't I just continue from the previous spot? Why am I making myself do this? And this time I was like, okay, I'm not even gonna try to jump around it. And then I just fell right back down and almost fell into the spike pit. I'm like, oh no, I gotta go back up and kill the eyes again. Oh man. If it wasn't for how well programmed this is, great music, as I said before, I could listen to a soundtrack for Battle Kid even without playing the game. It's that enjoyable of chip tunes. And there's a very Mega Man feel to it, even though it's obviously a lot more squashed in the character design and the level layout, and it doesn't scroll fluidly like Mega Man games do, but it definitely has a charm and appeal to it that belie the difficulty you will face playing it. So it's a cruel mistress. It entices you back in and then whips you into shape and says, no, you're gonna beg for mercy. I know you love it, but I'm gonna make you get on your hands and knees and crawl through broken glass and beg to make progress. And I knew I was screwed when I got to this point and I saw the lemons in the trees. I'm like, okay, they're gonna fall up, aren't they? Yep. That's when I finally had enough. Battle Kid Fortress of Peril. I played it, so you don't have to, but it is fun.